Okay, so I'm still nursing my sprained ankle. So I'm taking good care of it. I've got a pillow to put under it and a block to rest it on and another block so that I don't feel cattywampus. So finding your seat, finding a nice tall spine, whatever support you might need for your body. And wherever you're making contact with the floor, be it your feet and your bottom or your knees or wherever you are, your shins, if you're sitting in Vajrasana, just let that melt down to the floor for just a minute, just letting that part melt down. And then let your eyes drop to the floor or close gently. Relax your shoulders and shoulder blades. Without changing it, paying attention to the breath, just notice it in the belly or the chest. Go ahead and put the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the upper palate. So just putting the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the upper palate, and then resting the rest of the tongue down in the bottom of the mouth. It's kind of hard to do that initially. Do your best. Feel your spine reaching up toward the ceiling as your body settles down and your spine reaches up like a new shoot out of soft earth around it. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. A special prayer of thanksgiving for Baba Hari Das. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga, Ayurveda, and with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice. Every day is different. What do you need today? Form that thought into a positive statement as if it already had happened. And then repeat it 3 times to yourself silently or out loud. And then letting that thought slip down into your heart space. We'll bring it back at the end of the class. Bringing your palms together at the heart. Join me if you can for one resounding Om. Exhaling the breath all the way out. And let's inhale to chant. Om. Letting your eyes flutter open if they aren't already. And then pressing gently into your hands, just pressing into your hands gently for a moment. Feel your shoulders engage as you press into your hands. Feel your elbows engage. Good, keep pressing. And then notice the space in the very middle of your palms. That little hollow space there in the middle of your palms. Just notice it. And then as you're ready, lift the pelvic floor, pull in your belly, and then let the arms begin to climb up overhead. Keep that little space right in between. Just arms are climbing up, elbows almost to straighten, not quite. Don't hyperextend your elbows wherever you are. Good. And then keeping your shoulder blades back where they are, letting your arms and hands come down in front, but keeping your shoulder blades as much as you can down the back. Don't let them float up. Come into a neutral spot initially, and then keeping the shoulders down, taking the hands down toward the floor. Just seeing where you go. That's perfect. Wherever you are is perfect. Maybe your fingernails touch the floor. And then press again. Keep that little space in between your hands. Come back in to shoulder height, and then keep the shoulder blades down and coming up. Good. Come as far up as feels comfortable. And now let your shoulders rise up and just reach out to either side as if you were just taking a stretch out to either side, shoulder just lifting up. Keep the palms together. You don't have to force it so much, so let the palms gently touch. Good. And then let's flip the palms so that the back of the hands are touching. Just like interlace your fingers a little bit for just a moment and just reach up. Now our shoulders for many of us are kind of blocked right now by that acromion process, and that's okay for what we're about to do, but you may feel a little tension there. And if you feel tension, rather than taking them up higher, take them down lower. And then palms facing away from one another. Palms facing the floor. They're going to come back behind us and interlace there. Take the comfortable interlace first, whichever one you went to naturally, and then squeeze and open the palms. I mean, squeeze and open the shoulders, sorry. Palms are reaching toward one another and the knuckles toward the floor. And then we're gonna come out of this with a little twist over to the left. So I want you to take your body just a little bit to the left. And then as you come out, come up overhead and then come back just to neutral and come out. So that comfortable lace to your hands when you go to the back and to neutral, comfortable lace for just a moment and then come back. Comfortable lace for just a moment. Okay, let's switch the interlace right there. Just hold on and switch. Good. And then over to the other side. Exhale, coming back. Inhale. Grow as you twist. Uncomfortable interlace. One more. And again. Uncomfortable interlace and open. Good. And then take your palms out to the side, arms out to the side, palms down. Shake out your hands and wrist. Just shake them out for a second. Add your elbows in one direction. Keep moving your hands. You can tickle a bear, big bear fur with your fingers. And then add the shoulders, arms, everything. Okay, just nice movement into the shoulders. Go in both directions. Good. And then swim for a moment, just swimming, breaststroke. Great. And then lay the palms up, back of the hands on the knees, and just rest your arms and shoulders for a moment. Notice that stillness that happens in your shoulders. Good. And then let's work for just a moment with the legs and the hips before we move up any. Okay. So just finding the big toe knuckles to touch, big toe knuckles to touch. And your heels are apart. They're right behind the second and third toe. So find that alignment. That's your Tadasana alignment too. And your knees and your heels are in alignment. And I have a little space between my knees. Okay, tiny little space. Good. So just be there for a moment. And then soles of the feet together. Place your hands right beside you to take the soles of the feet together. Open only as much as is comfortable. Press the toes into each other and then pull the toes apart. So that same space we had created between our hands, let's try to create that in the arch of the foot. Maybe if you have good arches on the side of your feet, you can see the mat all the way between your feet. Just checking. Good. And then without hands, no hands for a moment, try to use your adductors and bring the legs up, feet flat on the floor, and then take the legs open. We're just using the adductors and the abductors. Take them up and down, soles of the feet, take a moment, situated, and then up. Knees can gently touch just to give you a little touchstone, and down. One more time, up and down. Good. And then bring the left heel into the groin, right heel back behind you. Okay. So that's gonna tilt you up onto your left sit bone. That's fine for now. Go ahead and put your left hand out on the floor, just right underneath your shoulder, not too far away. And then tuck your toes so that the toes are facing the mat. So pointed toes, okay? And then come up and down and up and down. One more. Up, let's stay up for a breath, and down. Good. And then roll back a tiny bit into your right sit bone just so you can feel it a little bit, and then come back into that neutral that feels so much better. And then undo the leg. Good. Soles of the feet together, maybe a bigger diamond for this midpoint for a moment. Good. And then right heel into the groin and the left leg behind. Good. And then point the toes of the right foot so that the toenails are on the floor. And then putting your right hand underneath your right shoulder. And then we're going to come up. So sweep the arm up and down and up and down. Good. And up. Let's stay up for a breath. And down. Good. And then just lean back a little bit into that left sit bone, just that little tiny bit. And then come back to neutral and soles of the feet together one last time. Okay. So this time make a really big diamond, nice big diamond in between. So you're having pressure on your outsides of your feet and on your sit bones, and you're up tall on your sit bones. Let's take the arms out to the side and up, palms to face, shoulder blades down. Go ahead and take the palms together and the same, open the fingers, the same little space that you have between your arches, created again between your palms. And think of that little emptiness there, that stillness between your palms and between the arches of your feet. Peel open the toes, peel open the fingers. Find the stillness. Good, and then bring the hands to the heart. Take the knees up close together, stretch out for a moment in Dandasana, flex the toes back towards you, wiggle your toes a little. And then we're gonna just swish ourselves around into our table pose, okay? Good. So coming into table, finding your stable table. And I know you've all heard ad nauseum me say, wrist underneath your shoulders, but take the time to really do that. We often will just go quickly and it's not there. Knees underneath your hips, not back or up, but right underneath your hips. Good. And then gaze at the floor for a moment, pull in your belly, feel that the pelvic floor is lifted. We're going to arch on an exhale. Inhale, neutral. 3 times to the same direction. Arch toward the ceiling. Inhale, neutral. And arch toward the ceiling. Inhale, neutral. And then the other direction, arch toward the floor. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, arch. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, arch. And inhale, neutral. Good. So finding your neutral spot again. Reaching back through the left foot, curl the left toes under. Reaching back through the left foot, curl the left toes under. Take the time, if you went off the mat, get back on it. Again, check your wrist underneath your shoulders. And just pressing through the ball of the foot. The heel is engaged. You can really feel that activity there, okay? Good, we're not going any further for a moment. What I want us to do for a moment is press into the right foot. So the right foot, my toes are pointed. You can try it with your toes pointed. You may need to curl them under. Pushing into the right foot and be aware of your left shoulder and your right hip. As you gently take the right arm up parallel to the floor. The left foot is still on the floor. And you can really feel the balance going into your right shin, right leg, right foot, knee, the whole thing together as a unit. Good. And then release the hand, drop the knee, and relax. And then let's reach back through the right foot, curl the toes under, press into the ball of the foot, get really strong through the gastrocnemius, your calf muscle. I love that name of a muscle. really curled under. The toes are curled under and reaching through the heel. And then press into the top of the left foot, left leg, left knee. Everything's pressing in, getting nice and even there so that you can feel the strength that you have in your right shoulder and in all of your left shin on the floor. And then sweeping up the left arm. Palm is facing the midline. You're gazing at the floor. Good. And then slowly release the hand. Release the knee. Find this neutral spot for a moment. Gaze at the floor. And then arch toward the ceiling and take 3 breaths there. Press the floor away. Press into your shins and your feet on the floor. 3 full breaths. Make sure you cannot see your heels behind you. Make sure that you've got your big toe, knuckles and everything, but not a lot of your feet. And then come back into neutral. Good. And then arch toward the floor, opposite direction, and take 3 breaths there. Curl the back of the head toward the tailbone. Spread the sit bones and curl the tailbone toward the back of the head. Press into the hands and the feet, shins. And then on your 4th breath, come back into neutral. Good. So we're going to do a little, just a little bit of leg movement here. We haven't really done circles in the acetabulant. So just lifting up your left leg and making some circles, nice big circles. Go slowly, other direction. Good. And then bring the left knee in like a pendulum and take it back and forth a few times, just swinging it like a pendulum. And then release it. And then the right leg. So first, just some nice big circles. Other direction. Good. And then drop it in like a pendulum, back and forth, back and forth. Good. And then set the leg down. And then let's come up onto our knees for just a moment. Good. So just being on the knees. And let's try for a moment. I'm going to go to the side so that you can see. I want us to try the stability on our knees. So we're closer to ground. We have gravity working with us right now. So try it with your feet out. Toes are pointed. Your ankle area may come off the floor. That's fine. Good. So just trying that for a moment. And then let's do a kneeling Urdhva Tadasana. So upward reaching Tadasana. Upward reaching, Babaji calls this palm tree pose. Upward reaching palm tree. Palms face one another. And then let's curl the toes under and notice the difference that happens in the foot, in the leg. Just notice if the difference in the stability or not. Keep reaching upward for Urdhva Tadasana. Pelvic floor is lifted, belly is in. Arms are reaching up. And we're looking for that little bit of stillness. And then slowly, let's flip the back of the hands toward one another, palms facing outward. And then slowly, as if we were pushing away air, bring the arms down slowly. Nice and slowly. Good. And then once you're there for a moment, just resting the shoulders, just resting your shoulders. Great. Now decide where you had the most traction with your feet. Either way, one of them was more comfortable, one of them you felt stronger. So pick that one as we do external rotation on the other leg for a moment, okay? So let's start externally rotating our left leg and put our ankle right underneath our thigh. So we look down and we can see our big toe knuckle, nothing greater. So this is our warrior 2 leg. And right now our belly button is front and center because we are using the leg to move us, okay? My leg's even off the mat because that's my rotation capacity in that leg. Good. So just be there for a moment with that rotation. And then we're going to extend the foot out, flex it, and then bring it back. And I'm going to put my hands at my waist because that gives me just a little bit more power to remember to keep my belly in and my pelvic floor lifted. I'm going to exhale, extend the foot out, flex the foot, and inhale, drag it back. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. And one more. Exhale, flex the foot, and inhale. Great. Let's just take our arms up to feel how that feels, lifting the pelvic floor, belly is in, gazing out over your left fingertips. Go ahead and flip the right palm toward the ceiling for a moment, okay? And then reach up to your spine and grab an arrow. Just grab an arrow, bring it back out all the way to the right side. Good. And then arch it all the way over to the left. Pull it back, let the arrow go, and then open the arm. Good. One more time. Reach over, grab an arrow, pull it back, open the right arm all the way back out. Arch the right arm all the way over to the left. Make a big half circle. Pull it back, release the arrow, open the arm. Still gazing, belly still in, pelvic floor is lifted. And then bring your gaze back front and center. Release the arms and release the leg. Okay, same thing on the other side. Externally rotate your right leg. And just make sure that you've hidden your foot. You can see your big toe knuckle on the inside, but that's all. And don't move your belly because right now we're stable in this position. So my leg, my foot's all the way off the mat. Otherwise, I'm going to have to like go over to that side. Don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm just staying here for now. Great. And we're just going to do 3 times. Flex and extend and return. Make better extend and flex and return. Extend and flex and return. Good. So once again, stacked. Make sure you didn't lose your alignment. It's easy to do. And then let's sweep the arms up shoulder height. Good. And then gazing out over your right fingers, feel the compression at the neck, lift the pelvic floor, belly is in, reaching all the way back through your left shin and toes on the floor. You can curl the toes under or lay them out, whichever you have for the most stability. Just gazing out. Notice the compression at the throat, Vishuddha chakra, really working on Udana Vayu, our ability to speak our mind, our ability to improve our senses and our sense perception. And then taking the left palm up toward the ceiling. Good. Reach up to your spine, grab an arrow, pull it out all the way back out to the left side, and then arc it all the way over to the right. Pull back on the arrow, let the arrow go. Open up the palm all the way back to the left. Reach up from the spine to the spine, grab an arrow, take it all the way back out to the left side. Good. Arch it all the way over, pull back, let go, and open the arm. One more time. Reach up, grab your arrow, all the way open to the left. Arch it all the way over, pull back on your arrow, let it go. Good. Open the arm all the way out. You can flip the palm down, just gazing out. Notice the lift in the pelvic floor, in the belly, in the chest, the pressure at the throat. And then slowly release the arms, bring your gaze back to neutral, and let's release the leg. Great. Take our hips back to our heels for just a moment. My ankle says, please put a block in between. Okay. So reaching back for just a moment, hips toward heels. You can grab a block or not. You decide. Sitting in Vajrasana, so thunderbolt. So there's no rotation on the legs at all. We're just making a Z. Good. And then come back into kneeling for a moment. We're going to make our way up to standing. I'm going to favor my ankle and do it really slowly. So any way you want to make your way up to standing. Good. And just finding yourself nice and solid on your mat in Tadasana. We're going to have the same experience for an external rotation as we were in our kneeling position, right? But we're not going to open the legs. We're going to do tree pose. So I want us to think about not moving anything. Our belly stays exactly like it is. And it's the leg that's going to rotate, but it's going to be in that same relationship that you just had to the floor, okay? So nice and grounded on your right side. Lift the right toes for a moment and peel up the left heel. And then for just a moment, put your finger in your belly button and just open up the left leg without moving your belly button. That's going to help you pull in the right hip so you don't have a tendency to go there. And then let the arms float out and up. You can flip the palms toward one another. Arms can come up. Good. Pelvic floor's lifted, belly's lifted. And then the sole of your foot can go right over close to your ankle. It can go up on the thigh. It can go wherever it's comfortable for you, anywhere but your knee. No pressing into the knee. Knee does not want to be pressed sideways. It can be the heel above the ankle, or you can lift it all the way up if you'd like. You decide. The rotation, but your belly is front and center. You're feeling that same lift in the pelvic floor, lift in the belly button. Good, breathing. Just noticing the rotation, but don't rotate any of your body, just the left leg. And then let's bring the hands to the heart, nice and slowly, Anjali. Good. And then extend out on the heel for a moment, just like we were, just extending out on the heel. And then bring the leg back. Good. Just move softly, keep your feet planted. Feet planted, just move your body softly for a moment. That was a black cat. It wasn't a big rat or anything that just came in. Okay, shift our weight over to the left side. Really hold the left hip stable and then peel up the right heel, just the heel initially. Okay, and then we're going to externally rotate that leg. Just I'm tapping it around so that I don't move. My fingers in my belly button, so I'm not tempted to try and that direction. Okay, so everything's staying front and center. And then you can decide about placing your foot. You can also wait until your arms are out and up. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in the belly. Shoulders can come up if you'd like, or sink down, whichever feels most comfortable for you in the moment. Try to lift your left toes for a moment. Just see how solidly, equally balanced you are across your left foot. Just lift the toes and then drape the left toes down. And then you can decide where you want to put the foot. The heel above the ankle, or you can bring the leg up to the thigh, whatever feels best for you today. Maybe different tomorrow. Breathing, smooth it out, smooth out the breath. And then the hands to the heart gently. And then we're going to just extend out on the heel. You may need to bend your left knee a little bit for that to happen. Just extend out, foot is flexed, and then come back to neutral. Good. And then release your arms, let them get soft. Let your eyes come toward the floor. You can close them gently. Samastiti pose, equally balanced pose. So just feel the weight as your eyes are either closed or gently toward the floor, as low as you can get them. And just notice the weight on the feet, the balance, left to right, front to back, right to left, back to front. Just noticing Good. And then on our next inhale, letting the eyes flutter open. And we're going to come down into a big squat. And that for me today means that I'm going to have my legs nice and far apart and just come down and do a nice big squat. Knees and feet are in the same direction. Mine are headed out to the side. And you can always just grab a block and plop it right underneath you and sit on it, which if you have any ankle tension, feels really good. So bringing our hands into Namaskar. Good. And just feeling that downward flow of energy, that apana vayu, that flowing out from the base of our rib cage, flowing out. All of the digestive materials, everything coming out, out, out. So just feeling that pranic energy that's headed down. And then a slight open out to the left side, just opening into a small twist. And then come back into neutral. And then opening out to the right side. And back into neutral. So let your head and your face be an extension of your spine. So wherever your spine starts to go, take the face and the head with it, okay? Again, to the left. So keeping your head as an extension of your spine. And then back into neutral. And then one more over to the right. And back into neutral. Good. And then we're going to head all the way to the floor. So just moving your block out of the way. Coming into a neutral spot. As if we were going to go into pose, which we're going to taste for a moment, but just leaning back a little. I have my hands resting on my shins, not pulling or doing anything rough right now. I'm just leaning back a little. I don't even need my hands, right? Good. Pull in the pelvic floor, pull in the belly, look forward. And then with just the head and the chin for a moment, tuck your chin down towards your chest, bring it back into neutral, and then take your chin toward the ceiling. Bring your chin back to neutral, take it toward the chest, and bring it back into neutral. One more time up toward the ceiling. And back into neutral. Good. And then hold behind your knees, not on the front, so that we're supporting the ligaments of the hamstrings. Good. And then bringing up either one or the other or both legs. And if you're doing just one at a time, just tap, 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 tap. This is really good for your TFL, that muscle that's underneath your tibial band. Good. Breathe. And you can toe touch or not, holding or toe touching, whichever you'd like. And then just seeing a little bit about straightening maybe one leg and then the other, and then one leg and then the other. One more time, one and the other. And just check on both for just a moment, how that feels. Reach through. Big toe knuckles can touch, but the heels will be separate. Knees are separate. Breathe. And then into neutral, sitting up tall on your sit bones. And then we're going to slowly hold on to a rope to get to the floor. But before you do that, right, this imaginary rope, there's no real rope. Before we go down, you're going to want to do an inversion, I hope. And if you have a wall today, I'm going to suggest that you try Viparit Karni Mudra with a wall, but with a little bit more activity, right? So those of you who are not inverting, or those of you who have eye pressure problems, any glaucoma, any uncontrolled blood pressure, high or low, if you're on the first few days of your menstrual cycle, or if you just don't want to, don't invert, okay? But if you are inverting, and you're welcome to grab a block and take it with you, but if you are inverting, I want you to think about using the wall like this, okay? I'm gonna come up close to the wall. I'm even gonna get a little bit closer. I'm gonna put my feet on the wall, and then I'm gonna come up like that. So I actually can rest my feet on the wall in any way I'd like, but I'm just lifting up and creating that inner the coming in of my belly, the coming in of the pelvic floor, a little bit of pressure at the neck if you're inverting. And you're welcome to do this with the block also underneath your hips and your legs just stretched up the wall. So trying Viparit Karni Mudra with a wall for your inversion. Okay, so as you're ready, finding your inversion. And remember, in this inversion, all of the bandhas are naturally applied. So the pelvic floor comes in for our Mula Bandh. The belly comes in for our Uddiyana Bandh. And the neck has the pressure for the Jalandhar Bandh. So just enjoying without effort how all of the pranavayus can be balanced just by using the wall as a really good prop. Good. I'm minding the time. You're welcome to stay just a little bit longer. Got another minute and a half if you can make it that long. And if you begin to feel uncomfortable, if you feel too much pressure in your shoulders or your neck or your head, come out of it. Nobody else cares. It's your practice. Reversing the flow of pran all over the body, the 5 pranavayus. Udana, upward flowing out, up and out. Prana, in and down. Samana, unchanging air, folding in on itself. Apana, downward flow of air. And Vyan, all over the body, our circulatory air. Everything coming back into balance without effort, with ease. About 10 more seconds. And then gently transition yourself out of the pose. So come down, and maybe if you need any kind of counter pose before your Shavasana, take it gently. Otherwise, Shavasana is the best counter pose. Just being still. Remember, Babaji says this is the most challenging pose of all because it implies death, that little taste of death, stillness, complete stillness in the body. Feeling a heaviness coming over you as if your body were made of sand. A sack of skin made of sand, heavy on the floor. Your breath becomes imperceptible, soft and shallow, just enough to sustain you. Looking for stillness. It's so hard, but do your best. Stillness. letting your jaw relax, the whole body soft. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath, finding that imperceptible breathing in the belly or the chest. Just notice it and let it deepen a tiny bit. Letting your eyes roll in the sockets in one direction and then the other. Letting your tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth, swishing it along the front of the teeth. And then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Feel the ears snap, snap, crackle, pop, bringing all the senses online. Wriggle your nose. Begin to swim the fingers and twinkle the toes. And then you're deciding how you want to make your way over onto one side in embryo pose, all curled up, safe and secure. You can stretch out before you go. You can shrink in before you go. You can do both. Just gently finding your way curled up on one side in embryo. surrendering to Garbhadasan, the embryo. And then gently keeping your chin tucked into your chest during this whole thing. Take your upper arm, put the hand on the floor, stack the elbow on top, and then begin to press the floor away, spiral up. Keep your chin tucked in. And when you're all the way seated, just let your head plop on the top of your spine. Your eyes can gently close as you bring your awareness into body, breath, and mind, letting the asana do their magic. Just taking a moment with the effects of the asana. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Good. So today I thought we would do 2 pranayams, which can serve us during this season of transition. One is heating and one is cooling. So we're going to do ujjayi, which most people have heard of and have practiced. Babaji taught it a little bit differently, and I'll just give you one more tool for your toolkit. And then either shitali or sitkari, the cooling breath. So you'll have a heating breath and a cooling breath. And you can determine which one feels best for you every day. So let's just go through the mechanics real briefly. Ujjayi is sort of the Darth Vader breath. And so you'll hear it rushing through the glottis as if you were fogging a window, right? Babaji had us do it only on the inhale, pause, and the exhale out with nothing at all. If it was overly heating, you exhaled out onto out of the left nostril only, closing off the right and just exhaling left. It's a chest breath, so we're not really involving the yogic breath or the belly or anything. So our belly can stay stable. I'll demonstrate 1 or 2, and then you can join me. So exhaling the breath all the way out, and then you'll hear a sound. And you heard no sound when I was exhaling. So it's just on the inhale with Babaji's method, and you're welcome to do your own, whatever you would like to do, but you might just try out our method, okay? So clear your throat, clear your throat. That's where you want the space to come from. So now when you've cleared your throat for a minute, maybe put your hand there, just feel the vibration in your throat. This works on Udana Vayu especially. Close your mouth and inhale and try to make a sound there. Pause and just exhale normally. One more time, right in that same area. Pause and exhale normally. Good. Okay. Let's try 1 or 2 more. Afterwards, when we're talking, you can now clarify any doubts you might have. So just go with me now, just a couple of more. Exhaling the breath out, constricting the glottis, and inhaling. Slight pause, exhale, no sound. Out the nose. Let's do 1 more. And just sit for a moment. Feel the effects. This is good for singers. This is good for voice quality and voice quality improvement, for the sound of your voice and the volume of your voice without straining. This is good for anybody who needs to work on udana, getting all of their words out of their mouth. Letting your eyes flutter open on an inhale. And then the next practice is called sitkari. It means hissing breath. Excuse me, hissing breath. And so with that one, it's a belly breath. All right. So the chest is going to stay stable. Our belly is going to expand on the inhale and come back on the exhale. And what we're going to do for that inhaled breath is put the tip of the tongue at the roof where we had it at the beginning of practice, right at the top of the tongue, where the the top of the teeth, where they meet the upper palate. Put a big smile on your face and draw the breath in through that smile. Pause. Exhale out the nose. Belly to spine. Make a big smile and inhale through the mouth. Belly expands. Pause. Exhale out the nose. Again. Pause. Pause is super important. Exhale out the nose. So you can notice that the mouth cavity itself is getting cooler because of the air coming in and cooling down the cilia. And remember, the top of the palate is the bottom of the brain. So it works with the hypothalamus to have us cool down, okay? So if you roll your tongue, you can do it in a different way, which is called shitali. And instead of putting the smile on your face and your tongue to the roof of the mouth, you just roll the tongue and bring the breath in. Into the belly, pause, lay the tongue down in the mouth, and exhale out. So pausing and laying the tongue down in the mouth before the exhale is super important. Okay, let's just do 2 or 3. Exhale the breath out. You decide sitkari or shitali. Remember, it's a belly breath. Inhaling belly through the mouth, exhaling nose. Making this your last round and just closing your eyes and sitting for a moment and noticing the body, the breath, the mind. We're going to slide right into our meditation. So try your best not to move. Looking for stillness. Looking for stillness. Body is soft, shoulders are soft, spine is erect. Breath is shallow, just enough to sustain you. Your hands can rest on your thighs or in your lap. You can make a mudra or not. If you have an object of concentration, bring it into your mind and stay with it. If you don't, I recommend hung on the inhale, sa on the exhale. Hung, sa. I am that with a capital T. Hung, sa. Hung, sa. Hung sa. Hung sa. Hung sa. Releasing the mantra and the mudra if you took it. Bringing yourself back into the full body. Senses online. Notice smells and taste in your mouth. Notice the temperature around you. What do you hear? And as you gently on an inhale, fluttering your eyes open, what you are seeing. Bringing the hands into the heart. Anjali Mudra. Any merit we may have earned this morning doing our practice of yoga, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Remember your intention and how you turned it into a positive statement. Repeat it again 3 times to yourself right now. And then letting that thought drift down into your heart space. And then we're going to lift it all up and take it up and out and into the universe. Just let it go. Bringing the hands gently back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Don't leave. I have an announcement to make. So please give me just a moment to get there closer to you so I can fix it. But I do have an announcement because I'm going to go on a 1-month vacation. Not really, but I am going to not teach Tuesday, Thursdays for 1 full month because it's 1 year now that I've been teaching every Tuesday and Thursday without a day off, except one at the very beginning when I was thinking, why did I take that day off? And I'm sorry to say it was to go and tell my employees that we would not be, that we were going to close. So that was the only day I took off in this whole year. And let me get it where you can speak. Okay. And let me undo my spotlight. Great. And now let me get it where I can see you. So Hi, everybody. I'm going to not teach for the month of April, and starting Thursday, Donna will teach on Thursdays and Jen will teach on Tuesdays. Same link, same everything. They're going to do the same kind of class, a little bit of pranayama, a little bit of, well, they'll do the, 30, 45 minutes of asana, and then pranayama meditation. And then they'll have a little bit of time to ask any questions about what they did. And if you have any questions that you want to say for me, that's fine. You can just tell them what the question is and I'll watch the video and look at it later. I won't come to the class because I'm really going to try to take off. It just so happens that I'm now going to go to the States on Saturday and get my vaccines, because it looks like here in Guatemala, it may be God knows when that we get our vaccines. So I'm actually going to fly to the States. I have a reservation for Saturday, and I have an appointment to drive 3 hours on Monday morning and get a vaccine. But it's for sure. So even though there was nothing closer for Monday morning, and I'd like to just get it on Monday so that I have my time there. So I'm going to be back at Mount Madonna for 6 weeks. So that gives me time to get both shots and to have it be fully active before I get back on the plane. So I'm excited, and there's always stuff for me to do there. And of course, at some point, I have to do 10 days of quarantine. So my partner and my kid will pick me up, and then I will make my way to Mount Madonna that evening, and then I won't see anybody for 10 days. So that'll be good. 10 days of seclusion. I can deal with it. Yeah. Thank you, Meg. Thank you so much. Thank you. So any questions about practice today? It was really working with, trying to work with all of the joints relatively even. So, shoulder joint, hip joint, ankle joints, everything I could in the spine. So hopefully you feel super balanced. Did you guys do the Viparit Karni Mudra at the wall so that you could feel that little bit more of pressure coming in, or how was it for you this morning? Go for it, Ellie.
It was good. I tried with the block under my hip, and it feels different. It was more flow, because maybe also my hip is more stiff, and maybe beginning of the day, or so it was more flowing, and after a few minutes, I felt
Uncomfortable?
not uncomfortable, but it felt more flowing. So
After
then,
you settled into it.
right, and also with the block, I try. Normally, I can do without that, but so the goal is using block under the hip is for certain students that have a problem.
It's just to make it a little bit less effort, right? To let the gravity do the thing without so much physical muscular effort, right? Yeah. So, if someone's up at the Viparit Karni, like in shoulder stand, you can be weightless in shoulder stand because you're up and you're right up. That's often called candlestick pose, right? You're upright, you're balanced, and it's like headstand. You don't weigh a thing. You don't weigh a thing in shoulder stand, and you don't weigh a thing in headstand. And if you weigh something and it's hard for you, you're just haven't found your sweet spot yet, because I can guarantee you both of those poses feel as light as a feather once you've accomplished the correct alignment. Viparit Karni Mudra, no, you are at an angle and your legs are at an angle, and it can feel like it's a lot of muscular effort, in the arms and in the legs. So putting a block often will just relieve a little bit of that muscular effort. So it's kind of just to see, like you can often stay longer in it too, have a 10-minute Viparit Karni Mudra rather than a 2-minute Viparit Karni Mudra with a lot of muscular effort, right? I don't recommend a 10-minute Viparit Karni Mudra unless you work up to it gradually. And I do recommend it after working up to it gradually, like starting at a 2 or 3 minute with the wall. And then, every month adding a minute until you're at a year and you're at 10 minutes. But not to do it quicker because it needs to stabilize everything. It's working with the vayus and restabilizing. Yeah.
And you mentioned about the this posture addressing all three bandhas.
Bandhas.
Yes, and as well as if you can refer to the prana vayus, that which part that related to prana vayus.
So the pranavayu is not a bandha, right? The bandhas
Right.
are, yeah, right. So when it's coming down, it's applying Udiyan Bandh because the belly's coming in because of gravity. And then Mula Bandh is coming in because of the anal sphincter just is coming down because of gravity. And then the whole weight on the throat is creating that lock. So prana everything is being reversed. All of the vayus are being totally reversed. So prana vayu that normally goes in and down, right now it's going in and down, but reversed. So it makes everything in the whole body reverse. It's Viparit Karani means reverse posture. So, the whole thing is to restabilize. It's like when you take a glass and everything settles at the bottom, and you take the glass and you shake it for a moment and then it resettles and everything changes, So that's kind of the thought. You reshake it and then it all smooths out. Does that make sense?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anything today? Yes, Patty. Thank you. I am gonna enjoy it, although I'm already feeling a little I'm already missing here. I'm missing my food here. I haven't even left yet. And I'm missing what I do every day here because over this last year, I have a routine. And, after I made the reservation, I had the fear, like, I shouldn't have made the reservation at the nighttime. You know how things are so much worse at night? Like I made the reservation and it was like, I can't get on that plane. No way. I have to cancel this tomorrow morning. I'm going to sleep. I have to go to bed. And then I tossed and turned all night, woke up. I'm not getting on the plane. I'm staying here. I'm not ready to travel. But as the sun came up and the day began and I got my feet on the ground and did my yoga practice and did my meditation, I could deal with flying. Because when I first woke up, there was no way I was getting on that plane. No way in a million years. And I remembered Babaji's adage, face, fight, finish, and I may have told you my kid got in trouble for that because he hit somebody and said, Babaji told me to do it. What? Babaji didn't tell you to hit somebody. Babaji told me to face, fight, finish. Yeah, so I did think of that, but I am going to have a really good time. I know I'm going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. And I get to be at the temple, I get to go to the Hanuman temple and the Ganesh temple, get to walk around the land. So even when I'm in quarantine, I can still walk around. I just can't get close to anybody. But I will be in the Orchard House, which means that I can continue giving the classes that I give in Ayurveda and yoga on the weekends. So that's good. And then I'll be, you'll see me in the Orchard House because I'll be there until May 15th and I'll be teaching for 2 weeks from the Orchard House. So you'll see the space that I will have been in the whole time I'll be teaching when you come back. Hopefully I don't lose you in the month of April, and hopefully you come and see Jen and Donna, and then you can tell me later how that was for you. And I think it'll be obvious that they both studied with me. So you can tell me that too, if it was obvious or if it's like, I couldn't tell they studied with you. And Donna speaks Spanish. So she's also offering a class right now in Spanish through Mount Madonna. It's on the website for anybody. Alfredo, you might want to try her class. It's on Fridays. I think it just started this week. It's a Friday class. And she's a really good teacher, and it's going to be in Spanish, and it's free to anybody, right? So the thing sends you to a donate button, because Mount Madonna, just like every other nonprofit right now, needs donations, but you don't have to donate. You can go right down below it and click Zoom link and try her class in Spanish too. Okay. Yeah, so any of you who'd like to do a Spanish class, just go right to mountmadonnainstitute.org, and right in there you'll find it. Yeah. Yes, Jolanta.
I have a silly question. I'm sure you have some tricks down your sleeve, big sleeve, that you have always. I have hard time sitting cross-legged. I think it's my lower back. It's been always like this. If given a choice, I always sit on my legs, you know, kind of like from kneeling down on my heels. That's always my choice. Do you have any tricks like to kind of?
I do. I have the best trick in the world. You have to sit in a cross-legged position to be able to sit in a cross-legged position. You have to do it, but you have to support your legs fully. So when I'm seated, I have watched legs of practitioners be like this when they're seated all the way up. You may need to spotlight me. You may need to pin my video to see this really well. So this was their seated position, because until these adductors relax, you can't go any further. So if you have them hanging in space like this, they're going to always tambalea, you know, shake and move, because inside they are not stable. If you stabilize them completely and sit up tall on top of your sit bones and stabilize your legs, then little by little you go here after a month, and then you go here, and then, you know, maybe you go there. But it took a year. But I've got two separate students that I worked with while they were at Mount Madonna over a year, that went from way up here all the way to the floor by being patient and never coming off the supports until they were ready to go to the next level. So I know it works. You have to support the legs. They're like little babies, like, you know, it's like if you had a baby and you're going, oh, that baby's going, ah! Well, that's what your legs are doing the whole time, because they're not stable. They don't feel you've got them, right? They're trying to work. And if you just let them open and relax like a lotus blossom, then they'll start to open more and then open more.
Because teachers always say that if your knees are higher than your hips, you need to sit on something. So it does help, but it's not taking care of the problem.
Well, the only way you're ever going to be able to sit cross-legged is to sit cross-legged. It's like JD, I was trying to be super still in a meditation, and it was like a 2-hour meditation. And in an hour, I had to move, right? And so then afterwards, I was asking JD, who was one of our pujaris at the temple, what was the secret to being still for the whole 2 hours? And he said, Babaji gave me a super secret to be for not moving. And I said, what? And he said, Babaji wrote, don't move. Just don't do it. Don't move, right? And finally, I got to a place where I could actually practice that, you know, but it also meant that my hips were now open enough that they were not yelling at me, and I didn't have low back yelling at me. I mean, it takes a while working on our physical body and get it ready to sit for a long period of time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go and have my breakfast that I'm really going to miss. I have my piece of toast with avocado and black beans. That doesn't happen at Mount Madonna. I can have some toast, but I can't have black beans and avocado every morning. So thanks so much, everyone. And on this Thursday, it's going to be Donna. I'm going to come into the room and introduce people just in case, and then I'm out of there. But next Tuesday, it's Jen, okay? And you can go in through Mount Madonna or come in like you always come in, same link and same everything. All righty? Much love. Have a great one. I hope to see you soon. Ciao, ciao.